Hi, welcome to Nof48. It's what is it, August 25th?
Yeah, the 25th.
25th, and summertime is glorious out in my backyard today. We're going to talk to Cameron and Charity, two people that we've been missing on their updates, and they're in Labelle province today in Quebec. And we have Cameron for right now, and Charity will be along shortly. Hi, Cameron. How are you?
Good. How are you? And
I'm okay.
We are in New Brunswick.
Oh, you're in New Brunswick already? You missed a
Yeah.
province without talking to me. A whole province.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shame on you kids. That's what I say. Shame on you. Well, you know, are you about where you thought you'd be this
not
time?
at all. We thought we would be in Quebec still, and we would have been if we had to walk it every step, but we were advised to drive mostly through Quebec. So we did do a bit of walking, but nothing like what we planned on.
Really? And why would that be, my dear?
We got advised to walk through Quebec, or to drive mostly for our safety. They had some concerns with some of the
Policing agencies.
Yeah. So
And-
where we entered into Quebec was right in the thick of where Oka happened, obviously.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. And were there still bad feelings about Oka and stuff?
Well, when we heard about Oka, we were like tiny. So I remember Oka when I was
I do too.
when I was like a child, because I was very young, and the first lady that came up to and talked with us
was actually
was the spokesperson.
Yeah, Ellen Gabrielle was actually the first person we met when we crossed the border.
Wow.
Border.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And was it on her advice, or was it on the advice of tribal
No,
elders? Was it on the RCMP?
We were getting this advice prior to entering Quebec.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we got this advice when we were in Ottawa, and just we got it more than once. And we had one instance like right when we entered Quebec where we had people. Well, he was in the truck, so he didn't hear it, but somebody slowed down to like yell at me, right?
Right.
Which we haven't experienced none of that up until then. So
people were yelling at you.
Yeah, they like slowed right down in the midst of traffic to yell at me while I was walking. Cameron was in the vehicle, so he didn't hear what they were saying, but yeah, so there was that. And then when we got into Quebec, and like we got that as well, the same advice when we got into Quebec was not to walk too much.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
That's
amazing.
A little scary, eh?
It was amazing because we got to meet everybody because obviously the Oka only happened in the 90s. It's not very long ago. So
no, it's not very long ago. And actually we did a segment on Oka last year and went through it, and Indigenous lady who got knifed. Just a sad affair. Did they ever build a golf course, I wonder? I hope
No.
not. Good.
They have the 9 holes that is there still.
Right.
The graves are still there. Like nothing more happened there. So
that was quite the standoff. I tell you.
Yeah,
I remember it vividly. So you came through. So let's let me back up and properly introduce you. This is Charity and Cameron. We're walking across Canada in search of to publicize missing and murdered Indigenous people. And I'm going to say people because it's men, women, and children. And they've been doing a fantastic job. We've been following them for weeks now. And did you get any publicity in Quebec at all? Did you say?
Yes, we did.
Did it say beware of these two people? Or
we got an interview for the Eastern Door. It's a newspaper.
Eastern Door, you say?
Yeah. So the lady that did it, she was absolutely amazing. The article is just unreal. It made me cry.
We actually had more than that. One of the warriors, I guess, one of our warriors, Indigenous warriors, so that we first met, and he got us in contact with news, our radio, newspaper, like he was on it.
Oh, really?
And so we did, we did get quite a bit in the English, like the Anglophone side. And then when we got into Quebec City, we had because we honestly thought it was going to be that maybe it wasn't that bad, so we decided that we were gonna walk some walks after we left Ganawagi there. And after we got to the other side of the Montreal, we started walking, and turns out it did, like, we had a bad experience, I guess. Or the truck started acting up, so we went to go to a mechanic in one of the communities in Quebec, and he didn't even want us
He didn't even want me to go into the shop. He like stopped me right when I got out of the truck. I was outside the door talking to him and trying to explain what was wrong with the truck, and he's like, "Oh no!" He's like, "Oh, you guys can leave now." And
what? Really?
Oh,
yeah, no, like literally we were shooed off the property. So at first it's like, it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
And then that happened. I'm like, okay, maybe it is that bad, and we should just and the truck was acting up. So we our friend there got us in contact with a lady in Quebec City, Wendake Huron community. So we
Yes,
went there.
I actually was it something about the wind, or I forget, but I've heard of them.
Yeah, so we went there, and they got us in contact with a great mechanic. They translated for us. They got us in contact with some media as well. So we were able to at least get the word out on what we're doing in Quebec into the francophone speaking.
Wow, that's awesome. So you got the truck put back together.
Yes.
With the help of the Huron tribe.
Yeah, with the help of the Hurons, and family from back home helped pay for the repairs. So that was amazing, because we weren't sure what we were going to do with that. That was a little stressful for us, but
we forgot about me in Montreal getting super sick there.
Yeah,
I heard about that. You were super sick in Montreal, and it's a great city to be sick in. I mean, if you're going to be sick, be sick in Montreal, Montreal. So what happened to you, my friend? That good French cuisine?
So we were talking to the Mohawk mothers, and after our conversation there, we were leaving, and I was getting cold in there, and then we got in the truck, then I got hot, and then I got cold again, and I couldn't move. I couldn't even get out of the truck.
Did you have the COVID? Was it the COVID? Tell me it wasn't the COVID.
No, it was him not listening to his wife. I had asked him time and time again to, let's go to the doctor. There's something wrong with you. Like, let's go to the doctor.
Overheating me.
He wouldn't listen. So he went on like this for about a month, almost a month and a half.
Wow.
And he was eating less and less. We were getting less and less kilometers in.
Right.
And then finally he couldn't move. So I was able to bring him to the doctor, and he was they said he was getting close to getting septic at that point. So sepsis.
Oh my.
Yeah, fun.
So you got antibiotics, got yourself fixed up? Is that what happened here?
A few banana bags of fluids, a few bags of antibiotics, and then 10 days of antibiotics. And so we stayed with a friend in Ganawagi until he was 100% this time. We did not go until he was 100%. So that was nice.
So for our American audience, what did it cost you being in a Quebec hospital with the provincial?
We told him
insurance.
We told him what we were doing, so the doctor let us off on that, and we only had to pay for a prescription was $14.
Okay.
But
And
what he did say is that he's like, you could pay because sometimes BC doesn't pay. And I'm
Right.
just like, that doesn't make sense. Like, to me, that doesn't make sense. Like,
It's onerous sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, I have no idea what the policy is there, but I still know that I'm Canadian. So
Mhm.
yeah, we're in this
That's right.
country.
Well, Quebec provincial health is a little different than your average Canadian provincial health. So
Yeah.
is what it is. So I have
Healthcare was good. So
good. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you got yourself fixed up, got the truck fixed up, and
yes.
then you
It
went on your
was-
way. So I've got a couple of I want to share with the audience here a couple of things I gleaned from your Facebook, if you don't mind.
By all means.
Okay, so we'll do that first. And-
Yes. Mhm.
Oh, you son of a gun. Here we go. So walk across Canada, and this is on your Facebook.
Yes.
Then we have this.
You guys have noticed Cameron and I have been trying to keep the stories of our MMIE alive because they're not allowed on certain platforms anymore due to new laws. So if you guys want to help out and do the same thing, that would be great. I'm trying not to reference any, in there so that way they don't get removed.
Twitter doesn't do that. So if you don't use Facebook, or you go on Twitter and share them as well.
But we all know that the social media platforms that don't share them anymore in BC are the ones that most people look at. And I think this is especially important for recent people, but then people that have been gone for a while, I'm scared that their stories will be forgotten.
So what's that about?
So on Facebook, you have a new law where you can't really share news articles because you have to pay.
Well,
China.
you know the new laws about sharing our media, social media, Facebook.
Right. New yeah, and Facebook was shutting down news being
Yes.
shared.
And to me, that's a huge concern because that's all of the news articles that we share on our missing and murdered Indigenous people, right? So these are all stories that are happening to the communities across the board. And not only that, there are a lot of similarities in a lot of these recent murders, especially in Prince George.
Right.
And I'm sure it's like that across the board. Obviously, I pay close attention to Prince George because that's where my home is. That's where my family is.
That's right.
But there's a lot of similarities, and the fact that that people can't access this on Facebook anymore, or just the main media platforms that we use,
You
means
can on Twitter, but no one uses Twitter. But
Where's us old people going to get our news then if it's not on Facebook, right?
yeah,
Who are we going to know who to vote for? No.
Yeah, but for me, it's the youth. That's how you usually get them. That's how they usually see the news articles.
Okay,
And,
so
if there's a consistent occurrence of females getting stalked and reporting it to the RCMP, and it's nothing's getting done about it, and then they're being found dead in their houses. Like,
Right.
people should know that.
okay. Yes. We need to make this message get out there through podcasts, through YouTube, through Twitter, like you say, WhatsApp. I have another one I would like to show you.
This what?
Okay.
Hello.
So you met some people out there, and here's a nice picture.
yeah,
Alright.
that's John. He's running across Canada, east to west for.
To let me guess, for ginger abuse.
Yeah, close.
children's cancer. He came from New Zealand, I believe.
Yeah, and the other one there, those are our friends in Ganawagi. That was a walkout from their community. Yeah, that is
And they're
our friend.
marathon runners too, eh?
Yeah,
Oh,
Timmy was, yeah.
Yeah. He says you were too fast for him there. And then you have this
Yeah.
this other couple here.
this is a wonderful couple we met in Nicolette.
Nicolette, yeah.
Yeah, so just as we were standing there talking, there was a motor vehicle accident close by, and I was talking with them and we translated, and I'm pretty sure she was actually talking about getting, like, she messaged me and she wanted to asked if she could share my story on the local media, and I was like, please do.
Awesome.
Yeah, great on the translation, and just had a really good conversation with Roxanne and Derek.
So you've been meeting some good people along the way.
Yeah, so
that conversation was on Google Translate. That's how we were mainly talking to them.
and that's how we found out Google Translate can be not very good sometimes, because we were lucky she knew English.
Okay.
But I was still doing the Google Translate because it was easier for them and easier for her partner there.
Right.
And and then when I was like, okay, I can't remember what I said. It was like not to put a damper on your day, because I just told them really like the sad story, the reason why we're walking.
Right.
And about my son's dad. And then I was like, but I guess we're gonna get going now. You guys take care, something along those lines. And Google Translate, she started laughing. She's like, it said the bad thing, it didn't say the good thing you said.
Oh, okay.
It told us to shut up. It told us to shut up.
Well, doesn't every Canadian know French though? Je m'appelle Walter. Bienvenue. Je Edmonton. That's about it. That's my grade 4 French right there.
Yeah,
I didn't take French. So.
I didn't take French.
No?
No.
Yeah. Oh, but I did find out that my great grandfather is buried in New Brunswick.
Oh, wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
where are you guys now? You uh-oh. I hope you can't hear
Edmundston.
Okay.
We are in Edmundston, New Brunswick.
Edmundston, New Brunswick. So how did you get across? Did you walk across the border? Did you drive across the Quebec border?
We drove across. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the plan in Edmundston, New Brunswick right now?
So we're gonna have a walkout tomorrow from the locals here. How do you say the
Madawaska.
Madawaskans?
And that's where you are now, right?
Yeah, that's where we are right now.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we make our way east towards Grand Falls. And we have a ceremony.
We're gonna be we got invited to ceremony. So we're gonna be doing that in Tobique, I think it's how you say it. Tobique. No,
Tobique or UE.
there.
Okay.
QUE.
All right. So you got things on the go there. Hopefully some New Brunswick local media.
Yeah, I was just getting a hold of Anne from CBC. She just messaged me just before we got on this call, so I have to return hers. And
Oh, well, we won't keep you much longer here. We sure
well.
appreciate the update. I'll tell you that. And
Yeah,
where's
they did we sat down with them all day, the First Nation and some of the advocates here. So it's been great. One thing that we do want to communicate for sure on your platform here. I hope there's tons of allies or everything in the audience here, but Search the Landfills is doing a call out to all Indigenous communities, an international call out for, what is it, babe? Let's pull it up.
it's called Fill the Hills
Fill the Hill with Red, International
Day of Calling.
No, Day of Action for International Day of Action. And this
So
is
on September 18th, they want everyone to go to their local parliament or
the provincial parliament.
legislature.
Yeah,
Yes.
and wear red and start the call out.
Here, I'll just
So that's what we're doing. We set one up for Fredericton,
yeah.
and we set one up. We're setting one up for Halifax as we come
Nova
across.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the goal here is to have everyone united across the board. These are all acts of genocide, the in custody deaths of our Indigenous people, not only Indigenous people, in custody deaths, the negligence in the healthcare system, the fact that I'm scared of a healthcare system, like I get worried when we had to go. Like that should not be how it is.
Mhm.
Lack of housing. There's so many things that when you put them all together and you look at the list that gives you the list that gives you a checklist as to if genocide's happening, that's exactly what's happening here.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, so this is a call for all of these issues. Everybody, let's just go sit there, peacefully protest, and have a bit of a rally wherever you are. Go to your legislative building, and if there's not one plan one.
Okay. Could you send me the link to that?
Okay, so
Yeah,
oh yeah, and I'll just show it here so
Right.
everybody
Search the
knows.
Landfills International Day of Action, primarily caused by the Manitoba Winnipeg landfill, right?
That is the start, and we commend them. Like we look at the young lady there that's been working at this since she found out her mother was in the landfill from the serial killer,
Right.
and she's just a few years older than her son, right?
yeah.
Oh my.
She's just a few years older than our son. Like her, that's how relatable is that could be one of your kids standing out there having to fight day in and day out for the government to do the right thing, because landfill searches have been done. There are documented cases of it being done.
Right.
So and this is for missing and murdered Indigenous people. This as well is not just they're not forgetting about their men either.
Right.
Nor should any of us. It's you don't have a healthy household when your kids are taken away. You don't have a healthy household when your women are murdered or taken away, and you don't have a healthy household without your men.
Right.
You need that
No,
balance, right?
I agree with you. I'd like to I know we're running out of time here, but maybe we could talk next time on the reasons why people go missing. The causes, and I would really love to get a little bit more in depth on that,
Yes.
Mhm.
if you
That
don't
would-
mind, and because I think that's also important.
Well, when you go back to our very first interview, it hits a lot on there too. It's just like there's systemic racism
Yes.
in all levels.
Mhm.
And it's really sad that nothing's being done about that. And this is what this International Day of Action is. It's not only the landfills, it's about everything. It's the systemic racism, it's the missing and murdered, and it's
So September 18th is the very first day that Parliament's back in action there. So they'll be going back to work, and they're gonna have a a bunch of us like trying to get their attention.
Well, I hope so. You're
Yeah.
two very beautiful, spirited people. It's amazing what you've done, especially on short notice, like you said, when you decided to do this, and the awareness you're bringing to the community and to the whole country, actually, to be honest. So I'm quite happy to know you guys, and you keep strong, keep going on. We'll put some links if anybody wants to help.
Oh, we have a link tree as well now.
oh yes, Linktree is important.
What is a Linktree?
So I'll explain it. So
Okay, explain
so
me the
if you-
Linktree, buddy.
so I started a link tree that has all of our articles that I could find on like Google or whatever.
Right.
And it's one link where you click on it, it pulls up our page, And then you could be like, okay, something on TikTok. Oh, there's something on Facebook. Oh, there's a news article on CBC. There's a
Okay.
something on
So all these are
APT.
connected through this link tree, right? And you can,
Yeah, so it'll be a full list of all of our articles.
Which
Well,
is
I'm
Oh,
on
sorry.
Facebook, Charity. If you want to send me those links, I'll make sure I give
Okay.
them on to the podcast. So thank you guys. And you know
Yeah.
what? I'm grateful for what you're doing. You keep strong. I want to talk to you real soon, okay?
Okay.
If you
Okay.
guys don't mind, we'll keep in touch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take care. Everybody say goodbye to Charity and Cameron.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so thank you, Charity and Cameron. We're